John 13, verses 1 to 15. It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal and took off his outer clothing and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, you're not going to wash my feet." Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." "Then, Lord," Simon Peter replied, "not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean, and you are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said not everyone was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I've done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do this, as I have done for you." The reality is, many people would like to be thought of as a servant, but no one wants to be treated like one. It's why Jesus' actions in today's passage are nothing short of extraordinary. In our self-obsessed world, we go after and celebrate things like position and power, rank and title. But Jesus turned the whole thing on its head. He demonstrated a totally countercultural way to live. Washing feet wasn't the job of the leader. It was the job of the servant, and the lowest servant at that. But someone forgot to book the servant in the upper room that night, and no one was prepared to do the dirty work. Jesus initiated servant leadership in a way that no one else would. In this simple, deliberate act, Jesus demonstrates the servant heart of God, the same servant heart that took him all the way to the cross, and the humility that Jesus calls his disciples to imitate. So how do we serve like this? Well, first, as we saw yesterday, our motivation must be love. If we're going to serve the people around us, we need to value people over position, relationships over reputation. Secondly, it requires a security in our identity. Jesus could serve others because he was totally secure and confident in who he was. He knew that he had come from the Father and would return to the Father. And so he had no need for titles. He had nothing whatsoever to prove. It is not natural for us to serve other people in this way. The world we live in doesn't promote or celebrate this kind of living. It goes against the grain. It is hard, and everything in us might cry out to have recognition or fame. But it is when we get down and serve the people around us, when we put their needs ahead of our own, that's when we look the most like Jesus. Take some time to be honest with God. What do you find hard about serving people around you? Is there anything you need God to shift in you to make it possible for you to serve others?